This is a WellesleyPolice.com web news update. I'm Sergeant Scott Whittemore, filling in for Officer Ron Poirier, who's on paternity leave this week. The terrorist attacks on the Boston Marathon brought together law enforcement agencies from across the United States. The Wellesley Police Department is very proud to report that we were directly involved in some of these efforts. For more on this, we turn to Officer Chris Fritts for a complete report.
For WellesleyPolice.com, I'm Officer Chris Fritts. April 15, 2013 brought the Boston Marathon to Wellesley for the 117th time. Wellesley police officers have spent the last few months preparing and implementing a comprehensive plan to handle the event. The department handles numerous issues during the event, ranging from parking to crowd and traffic control during the marathon. In Wellesley, the day starts off early with a joint briefing between the Wellesley Police and the Army National Guard. National Guardsmen are utilized in both crowd and traffic control duties throughout the day and are a valuable asset. This year, the event was commanded by Deputy Chief Pilecki. Following the briefing, officers deployed to various posts throughout town to prepare the route for the 27,000 runners and spectators in Wellesley. Once the actual race begins, Wellesley police officers focus on keeping the route clear and assisting any runners who experience medical problems. This year, Wellesley police officers Evan Rosenberg and Mike LeManager ran the race, as well as dispatcher Mark DiNicenzo. This is the third time that Officer Rosenberg has run the marathon. The race in Wellesley was generally quiet and incident-free this year. The race route was opened completely just prior to 2:30 p.m. in Wellesley. Officers had just returned to police headquarters when the attack on the marathon finish line occurred. Wellesley officers immediately mobilized, and a task force of 7 officers, personally led by Chief Terry Cunningham, responded directly to Boston to assist. Within an hour of the attack, Wellesley police officers were in the city and were immediately deployed by the Boston Police. One team was sent to guard the Prudential Center, while a second team was deployed to guard the John Hancock Building. Back at home, Deputy Chief Jack Pilecki directed an extensive security sweep of the entire marathon route in Wellesley. Officers and members of the DPW checked the entire roadway as a precaution. Extra officers were also put on the street to enhance safety in Wellesley. In Boston, Wellesley officers remained on posts throughout the night, while Chief Cunningham assisted coordinating outside agencies who were responding in. Wellesley officers continued to assist the Boston Police throughout the week, either in specialized roles or by guarding high-value targets. The Wellesley officers who ran the marathon were initially unaccounted for after the attack. However, we then learned that our people were okay and safe, although dispatcher Mark DiNicenzo was very close to the second explosion as he approached the finish line. Chief Cunningham and Wellesley police officers were on scene in Watertown during the extensive manhunt on April 19th, when the second terrorist was captured. The WPD also responded to the city of Newton at one point to provide coverage for calls during the night. Our thoughts and our prayers are with the victims and their families of this senseless attack, including MIT officer Sean Collier, who was killed in the line of duty on April 18th. We would also like to remember MBTA Transit Police Officer Richard Donahue, who was seriously wounded in a gun battle with the bombing suspects on April 19th. For WellesleyPolice.com, I'm Officer Chris Fritts.
In the coming days and months, as things begin to return to normal in the Metro Boston area, we ask that you never forget MIT officer Sean Collier, who was killed in the line of duty on April 18th. We also ask that you keep MBTA Transit Police Officer Richard Donahue in your thoughts as he goes through his extended recovery phase. This has been a WellesleyPolice.com web news update. On behalf of Chief Terry Cunningham and all of the men and women of the Wellesley Police Department, thank you for watching.